Data Science, a practical guide for beginners. In today's session, we will be seeing about the data wrangling process, in which we will be seeing about the combining and merging. So in data wrangling process, it depends on emphasizing the raw material for analysis by cleaning, transforming and combining the data sets. So the first thing that is required is to clean the data. So it just cleans the data and then it handles the missing values, duplicates and inconsistencies. Once the data is cleaned, then the next thing is we want to have the data or convert the data in usable format, that is called as transformation. So this transformed data could be achieved by using either normalization technique or binning. Binning is nothing but dividing the data into equal intervals and scaling. The next one is merging the data set. So combine the data set as per our application. So if you want to have more data, let us take an example like we have the name of the persons and where they are working with, but we want their salary also. So you can use the concatenation function to join or merge with the keys or either through indexes. So and the last type is your reshape. So reshape, whether I want to change the rows to columns or columns to rows, or reorganize the data into different form of analysis. So you should remember these are the four topics in data wrangling, that is clean, transform, merge and reshape. So first we will move on to the first process, that is combine and merge the data set. So if you could see in pandas, so there are various commands to do that. For example, pandas.merge, so it will connect the rows in the data frame based on the keys. So this is quite similar to the SQL or any other relational databases where we implement the join function. So you can also go in for a command called pandas.concat. So it is used for gluing or stacking together the objects along an axis. There is one more command called combine underscore first. So it enables to splice together. So in combine and merge process, so there are four types are there. First is called as a inner join, or it is called as a intersection process. So usually we would have seen the intersection and union in max where we would have learned A union B, A intersection B. So what is A intersection B? If I have two sets, the elements which are common to both the sets A and B. So the same concept here. So what is the command it is given? Merged underscore df, that is pd dot merge data frame 1 and data frame 2. And for the data frame 1 I am owning my customer ID and I have given the command called inner. Okay, so now there are two data frames. So data frame 1 constitutes the customer orders, whereas data frame 2 constitutes the customer details. Here if you could see, they've given the different IDs and the name of 5 persons and what is the product they have purchased and its quantity. So when moving on to the DF2 data frame, that is it requires customer details, the city in which they are put up and what is their kind of membership. Okay, now we want to combine both these details to have an enriched value of the customers. So when I give in a command called intersection, which is given by the word called inner, so it just takes the IDs which are common in both the data frames and merged together. So which I have just shown in green color. So in both the things, here you have 101, 102, 3, 4, 5. Whereas here 102, 101, 2, 3, 6 is there. So now the common IDs are 101, 102 and 103. It takes the name, the product and the quantity. First this corresponds to a first data frame. Correspondingly, this 101, 102 and 103, in which city they are put up and their corresponding membership are added from the data frame 2 to the data frame 1. So this is how the inner function works. Now we move on to the outer join. When I say it as a outer join, it is nothing but it is called as full join. So in the syntax, we are just going to change here. Instead of inner, we are just going to change it as outer. So here we have taken the set of details, that is a customer orders and the customer details. So when I say it as a outer join, it is nothing but the union function. That means I'm going to pick up all the details from both the data frames. So here I have the IDs from 101 to 105 and here 101, 2, 3, 6 and 7. So totally my IDs are going to be 1 to 5. Then the remaining thing in my data frame I'm going to add it. So 106 and 7. So then accordingly you take the data from the data frame 1 and the remaining values from here. For example, so whenever I am going to take the ID number 106 and 107, so where the products is not present, so where I will give the command as none. So just what is this function does? It just takes the union of both the data frames and whichever data is missing, it assigns a none value to it. So thus so far we have seen about the inner join and the outer join function. Now we will move on to a third type which is called as left join. Left join means I am going to give a df1 priority. Okay, so what is the command here I am changing? Only here I have to change it as left. So here similarly you have two data frames, of one of customer order and another of customer details. So now when I give the df1 priority, when I say it has a left join, so I'll just take these values of only these IDs which is present in my df1 alone. So 101 to 105 is there, then corresponding name, product, quantity is being added. Now you go to the data frame corresponding to these 5 IDs. What are the data which is possible from here are going to get added. Okay, now here 101, 2, 3. So till 3 there is no problem. But the data 4 and 5, the city and the membership is not available. So in that case, I'll just fill the matrix or the table with the final data frame with none. Now the last type, that is right join. Just as we have seen the left join, similarly the right join in which I am going to give the priority as df2. So there is a mistake, just change the command as right here, right? So now what is the priority? You have to just take the IDs from here. So 101 to 103, 6, 7, take all the details and whichever details corresponding to these IDs are missing, you just assign a value none. Now, so we'll just see the data frame merge structure based on key. Usually we'll go in based on a key in dictionary or based on the index, right? So in this the first data frame it is named as key and the second data frame is also named as key. So both are having the same data frame dictionary name, and here inside if you are going to see, the different variables are given. So if you could see, the variables which are listed in the data frame 1 are A, B and C. Now they have given data 1 is range of 7. When I say it as a range of 7, it takes the value from 0 to 6, right? So first data frame, it initially it gives the index, that is from 0 to 6, the data 1. So the data 1 has been written because it is given as range 7, so 0 to 6. Next, whatever is the key corresponding to it has been written. Now we will move on to the data frame 2. What are the variables available in this key? A, B and D. Okay, so three variables are there, 0, 1, 2. They've given the range as 3. So the data 2 will have the data from 0 to 0, 1 and 2. And correspondingly the keys have been assigned. Now two data frames are ready. In the first one, the variables assigned are A, B and C in the key, whereas here A, B and D. So for both the data frames, the common variables are A and B. So two dissimilar data frames, they are going to be merged together. So in this key, if you see at the output, when I give pd dot merge both the data frames, I am just going to take only the common values. So the variable, the key C and here the key D is going to be left out. And so here if you could see, in three places there are A. Okay, and in three places they are going to be B. So these datas have been assigned in order. For example, if I'm going to take A, it is 2, 4 and 5. Okay, so 2, 4 and 5. Just the data frame has been written in ascending order based on the key. Now when you move on to B, 0, 1 and 6. So for 0, 1, 6, the key allowed is B. Correspondingly, the data has to be allotted. So now you have the values only A as 0. Okay, so A as 0, but for all the other values it is 0. Similarly, for B, it takes the value as 1. So the D is neglected. Okay, now we will move on to the next use case, wherein if the column to merge is not specified, or what happens when the column to the merge is specified. Okay, so now we are going to take the same example and the output what we have obtained from the previous. So this data frame I have taken. So this data is there. So when my key I've given on as key, so I'm not in both the data frames, I've given the same word as key, so it gives the output. That is, you're not specifying which has to be, which column to be merged. For example, here in the data frame df3 and df4, the keys which are specified are different. Okay, in the previous case both the things were mentioned as keys, so we are able to merge. Okay, but here they have given left key, right key, and it has values abc and it has value abd. Only the difference with respect to the previous slide is that they mentioned instead of key as L key and R key, and in the code they are saying that you on the left key and on the right key. So the datas are there as it is. So here you have to on the key. So your output will be based on the whether I'm going to on my left key or I'm going to on my right key. Okay, so in this, nothing column to be merged have been specified, whereas here they are specifying which column to be merged. So as I told you, the first one is pd.merge. Now you are going to merge the value based on index. Okay, so we have taken the data frame 1, wherein my key inputs are A, B and C, and I've given the value as range of 6. So it will take the value from 0 to 5. So 6 values are there. Now the key values are also assigned and the respective value has also been given. In the second data frame, they've given a command as group val, and they've given the value 3.5 comma 7 and index equal to A and B. Wherever A appears, the value is 3.5. Wherever B occurs, the value is 7. So accordingly, so you have got the A and B values has been specified here. That is 3.5 and 7. So when I give these two data frames to be merged and I've kept the left on equal to key and right index is equal to 2. So in this case, so whenever I'm going to merge the key, that is I'm going to keep my left value as on. So here I'm just rewriting the values, that is in both the things the key which is common are A and B, and it has been written categorically or in a ascending order. Correspondingly the values have been posted, and wherever A appears you are posting the value of 3.5, and wherever B appears you are posting the value as 7. So thus either I can use the generally based on my key in the previous case as we have seen, or you can go in for your indexed based merging too. The next is a data concatenation. So concatenation is nothing but adding or joining the two datas. So here they've given a command array is equal to np dot a range of 12. Okay, so it will have the values from 0 to 11, 12 values. Now reshape 3 cross 4. So these values from 0 to 11 should be written in terms of 3 rows and 4 columns. So it is written in terms of 3 rows and 4 columns. Now in the next case I am giving np dot concatenate array comma array. Okay, axis is equal to 1. We already know axis is equal to 1 means you have to concatenate column wise. If axis is equal to 0 means you have to concatenate row wise. So the same array has been written twice and have been joined column wise. So this is called as data concatenation. So you can go in for your merge based on key or index, or you can go in for the concatenation. So in the next session, we will be seeing about the reshape commands. Thank you.